It was kind of surprising when I had my first phone call about it, and then I shared the news with my students, and they felt very honored and thought that that's probably about the neatest thing that ever happened to them, to have a composer come and write a song just for them. And as we moved on and got more and more excited about meeting Dr. Chen Yi, then the realization hit that the music that we were going to have written for us was classical contemporary music. And most of our students, and most middle school students in general, don't listen to classical music, much less classical contemporary music, so it was kind of an adjustment. I gradually began having them listen to Dr. Chen's music so they could start growing accustomed to the kind of music that probably would be written for us. And they started getting used to that idea and started appreciating different kinds of music for what it was, whether they really loved it or not. I feel like the way my students were impacted the most by working with Dr. Chen and having a song written for us is probably realizing that they can rise to high expectations. They had an opportunity to have some very challenging music put in front of them, music that they weren't used to playing or even listening to, and they not only mastered it, they had a wonderful performance, and they have great memories of it. They even have told me recently that they appreciate different kinds of music now and understand why sometimes they don't like the music that I have them play, but they understand that it's good instructional material for me to have to present to them, and that they know it will make them better musicians if we play many different kinds of music. And I think sometimes we get caught up in diversity and forget to remind the students diversity is not just the difference between people, it's the difference in everything. And they are much more accepting of many different kinds of music when I present it to them now than before. Many of my younger students, because I really believe I attribute this to the different instruments that were presented to us in the percussion section on Spring Festival, my students aren't afraid to try new instruments. I've had several 7th graders approach me this year wanting to play bassoon, oboe, French horn, many different instruments that normally they're kind of afraid to step out of their comfort zone and try, because they understand how important it is for the band to have many different sounds in it. She just made sure that I knew what was going on. Every time she wrote something different, she would contact me. We emailed each other a lot. She came to Smith House so many times that weren't probably necessary and gave so generously of her time. She was at the time when we were working on the composition. She was traveling back and forth from China for a premiere of one of her other compositions, and very busy all out throughout the United States, but took time to make sure she could come and get to know my students and get to know me before she began work on the composition.